When thinking of ancient Egyptian rulers, most people automatically think of powerful, strong men who ruled Egypt as kings, right? Well, one woman proves to be an exception.
Like other pharaohs, this ruler was the child of a king. But only this time, the child was a woman. This woman king is Hatshepsut, the pharaoh known for her great power and achievements. Let's get to know her.
Hi there, Nick here.
And I am Josh, and we're from Eventful Insights.
Are you getting curious about our woman king yet? In this video, we'll talk about her early life, rule, achievements, and death.
Are you ready? Let's begin.
Before we officially get to know the life story of the great Hatshepsut, tell us in the comments below. Is this your first time hearing of a woman king from ancient Egypt?
Now let's start. Hatshepsut, a female ruler of Egypt who reigned independently from around 1473 to 1458 BCE, achieved remarkable power for a woman by adopting the full titles and regalia of a pharaoh. Hatshepsut, the older of two daughters born to Thutmose I, and Queen Ams, assumed the role of Queen of Egypt at the age of 12 after her father's passing. This occurred when she married her half-brother Thutmose II, the son of her father, and one of his secondary wives, who inherited the throne in approximately 1492 BC. The couple had a daughter named Neferure. Thutmose II passed away at a young age around 1479 BC, leading to the throne being passed on to his infant son, born to another secondary wife. Following tradition, Hatshepsut took on the role of Thutmose III's regent, managing state affairs until her stepson reached adulthood. During her early years before the throne, around the age of 20, Hatshepsut strategically consolidated power and ascended to the highest office in the land. Her youth might have been uneventful in a world where various health challenges and early adulthood were common. In a time when conditions like tuberculosis, dental abscesses, diarrhea, food poisoning, parasites, cholera, and childbirth posed constant threats, Hatshepsut stands out as the only ancient woman who claimed power during the peak of her civilization.
Going back to the initial years of her stepson's rule, Hatshepsut acted as a conventional regent. However, by the end of his 7th year as king, she took on the title of king, adopting the complete royal protocol of Egyptian rulers. Now, Hatshepsut and Thutmose III shared the rule of Egypt as co-monarchs, with Hatshepsut holding the dominant position. Initially depicted as a typical queen with a female form and feminine attire, Hatshepsut's formal portraits underwent a transformation. Following a brief experimental phase that involved portraying her with a female body but kingly regalia, her official portraits began to show her with a male body, dressed in the traditional regalia of a kilt, crown, or headcloth, and a false beard. Interpreting this as a literal attempt to pass as a man overlooks the Egyptian artistic convention, which aimed to depict things not as they were but as they should be. By presenting herself as a traditional king, Hatshepsut ensured that this role became her reality. Certain historians suggest that Hatshepsut chose to share the throne with Thutmose III in response to potential threats from individuals seeking to usurp power. Recognizing that co-ruling as pharaohs would make them a formidable force, Hatshepsut and Thutmose III governed Egypt together for the following 22 years.
According to some viewpoints, it's not accurate to label Hatshepsut as a queen, despite the common English interpretation. Once she assumed the throne, Hatshepsut could only be referred to as a king. In the ancient Egyptian language, the term queen only existed in the context of being a man's partner, described as the king's woman. After her coronation, Hatshepsut was not in service to any man, and her husband had passed away approximately 7 years before she became the ruler. Upon Thutmose III reaching adulthood, Hatshepsut appointed him as the commander of her armies. He emerged as a highly skilled military leader, earning the moniker Napoleon of Egypt from a group of Egyptologists who recognized his military prowess in various significant battles. Despite Thutmose III's pressure for her to step down and assume the role of pharaoh, Hatshepsut enjoyed a lengthy reign owing to her successful leadership of Egypt. However, once Thutmose III took the throne, he initiated a campaign to erase depictions and references to Hatshepsut, aiming to eliminate the female link in the succession of male pharaohs of that era. Speculation suggests that he may have had her assassinated when he attained the age to rule independently.
What are your first impressions about Hatshepsut so far? Tell us in the comments below.
Now, let's circle back to Hatshepsut's reign. Hatshepsut is widely regarded as one of the most accomplished leaders in ancient Egypt due to her successful establishment of trade routes and numerous construction projects. Although she falsely claimed to have restored the damage caused by the Hyksos kings during their rule in Egypt, her reign saw an extensive building program. In Thebes, her focus was on the temples of her divine father, the national god Amun-Re. At the Karnak temple complex, she renovated her earthly father's hypostyle hall, added a bark shrine, and introduced 2 pairs of obelisks. Additionally, in Middle Egypt at Beni Hassan, she constructed a rock-cut temple, known in Greek as Speos Artemidos. Her most significant accomplishment was the el-Bahri temple, designed as a funerary monument for Hatshepsut. This temple was dedicated to Amun-Re and featured a series of chapels dedicated to Osiris, Re, Hathor, Anubis, and the royal ancestors.
During the 18th dynasty, Egypt underwent a renaissance marked by prosperity, with gold flowing into the country abundantly and numerous construction projects underway, including the expansive temples of Karnak and Luxor that continue to captivate tourists today. Hatshepsut played a pivotal role in transforming these grand temple complexes from mud brick to stone, ensuring their continual expansion across reigns. As future kings left their mark on the sacred landscape with new pylons, gateways, colossal statues, obelisks, sanctuaries, and columned halls, Hatshepsut's influence was evident. Karnak, in particular, witnessed the introduction of sandstone structures during her reign, including the addition of 2 pairs of red granite obelisks showcasing human ingenuity and energy. Her architectural choices had a lasting impact, influencing later New Kingdom pharaohs such as Amenhotep III, Tutankhamun, and Ramses II. One of Hatshepsut's significant accomplishments involved the expansion of trade routes in ancient Egypt, with a notable expedition to the land of Punt emerging as a key achievement. This venture established a major trade partnership, providing Egypt with resources such as gold, resin, wood, ivory, and wild animals. The exact location of ancient Punt is still a subject of scholarly debate, but many believe it to be roughly in the modern-day region encompassing Somalia to Sudan. Thanks in part to these new trade connections, Hatshepsut's reign was characterized by affluence, prosperity, and peace. She commissioned 5 large ships to initiate trade with Punt, and upon their return they brought back 30 live myrrh trees and various gifts, including frankincense. Legend has it that Hatshepsut was the first to transform charred frankincense into eyeliner.
Towards the end of her rule, Hatshepsut increasingly involved Thutmose in state affairs, and after her death, Thutmose III governed Egypt independently for 33 years. As his reign concluded, there was a deliberate effort to erase all evidence of Hatshepsut's rule. Statues were dismantled, monuments defaced, and her name expunged from the official king list. While earlier scholars interpreted this as an act of revenge, it appears that Thutmose III aimed to ensure an uninterrupted male succession from Thutmose I through Thutmose II to himself. Hatshepsut faded into obscurity until 1822, when the deciphering of hieroglyphic script enabled archaeologists to interpret the inscriptions at Deir el-Bahri. Hatshepsut likely passed away around 1458 BC at the age of about mid-40s. She was interred in the Valley of the Kings, situated in the hills behind Deir el-Bahri, a location also home to Tutankhamun. As part of her efforts to legitimize her reign, she had her father's sarcophagus reburied in her tomb, allowing them to rest together in death. Following her death, Thutmose III ruled for an additional 30 years, showcasing both ambitious building projects similar to his stepmother and prowess as a great warrior.
Knowledge of her existence was limited until 1822, when scholars decoded hieroglyphics on the walls of Deir el-Bahri. In 1903, British archaeologist Howard Carter discovered Hatshepsut's sarcophagus, one of 3 prepared for her, but it was found empty, a common occurrence in the Valley of the King's Tombs. In 2007, after a renewed search in 2005, archaeologists located her mummy, which is currently housed in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. A life-size seated statue of Hatshepsut, which escaped destruction by her stepson, is on display at the Metropolitan Museum in New York City. The elegant life-size statue portrays Hatshepsut in feminine clothing, yet she adorns the Nema's headcloth, a regal symbol typically reserved for the reigning king. The inscriptions on the front of the throne, near her legs, include the throne name Matkare, indicating her adoption of this title. However, her titles and descriptors in the accompanying text remain feminine, identifying her as the Lady of the Two Lands and the bodily daughter of Re.
Were you empowered by listening to Hatshepsut's story? What was her most powerful attribute in your opinion? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
If you enjoyed watching this video, give it a like, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching.